Tell us about Elder Lindsay.
Elder Lindsay was a Christian gentleman. He was a good Christian gentleman. He was very serious, very sincere, very prayerful man. And he was an educational advocate. Well, the vision actually came from Elder Van Gogh Lindsay was the one who went around with, he had the dream. The Lord gave him the vision. And he was the one who went around, and if I could state it like he was said, he said, "Brother, we must have a school."
Well, it was said to me that we needed our own school. And according to the dream that one of our ministers had, that our own school was to be the goal. And he wanted us to be the teachers.
The parents and the constituents were very committed. Everybody wanted to see the school start, and it was a dream. And everybody became a part of their dream, so everybody chipped in, and so it was total involvement.
Tell us about your involvement.
Well, I consider myself as BVL, before V.Lindsay. Before V.Lindsay, I used to pick up 25 kids on a 15-passenger van and take them over to Cedarvale. I did it every day, get up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. And so, when they said a school in the area, naturally, I was for it because I didn't have to drive all over the city in the snow and the rain. And so to me, to come over here was just a joy. And this was a school where my kids could attend. So when you talk about V.Lindsay school, to me, I just became a part of the dream. And that's my involvement, to see the school, the dream. The dream lives on. Van Gogh Lindsay started it, and I'm just a part of the fulfillment of the dream.
What's your favorite memory of V.Lindsay?
Oh my goodness, there's so many, but I think my favorite memory was one time, I think it was first grade, there was a young lady that came, and she was very dark complexioned. And you know, kids can be cruel sometimes, and the kids were making fun of her, poking fun. They wouldn't play, you know, with her at the playground. And Sister Bryant stopped everything and had all the girls come inside, and we sat down in a circle, and we all said something special about, you know, each person in the circle. And she told us about how important it was to be accepting of everyone, and how God made us fearfully and wonderful. We are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that we should respect and accept and love everyone. And I think that was a lesson that stuck with me literally forever. I remember it to this day.
Having all my friends here at school, and then still being able to hang with them all at church. Most of the guys that I went to school with were still really good friends. So to me, that's one of my fondest memories, that even as adults, we're still friends.
The best memory for V.Lindsay was when they renovated the school. Now, it's sad to say, but the school caught on fire. And I remember the school caught on fire, and I was working in the conference office, and we all ran down here. And they said, "Oh, the school is on fire, the school is on fire." And we stood out in the front yard, and we cried, and we prayed, and we cried, because we said, "There goes V.Lindsay." And then when V.Lindsay went down, and then when they came back and renovated this place, Sister Martha Ewan was there. She was there, and she stood and she just cried. And so then they renovated the place, and the next memory is when they got the school bus, the new school bus. Because I think about from my little Civic to the old vans to the blue bus. But then now they have a nice classical bus, and Grover Sanders drives it. So the building and the school and the superb teachers.
I just came from Springfield, Missouri. St. Louis before that, been in the public school system. And I was kind of a clown, you know, just like to turn the class upside down when I could. And so Miss Wallace had left. I just got there, it was like the middle of 4th grade. And she went out the classroom. And so I started into my routine. And so I was standing up on the desk doing something. And Miss Wallace came and popped me on my bottom. And I was so shocked. I mean, you know, before that I've gotten into trouble in different places and things like that. And you would think my reaction would be one of anger. I just kind of sat down and I just kind of absorbed it all. Like she just spanked me. I don't even know this lady. I remember thinking about this the rest of the day. And from there, I started to realize it was a very personal approach to how they dealt with students. You know, you weren't just a student. It wasn't just about a paycheck. You know, they really kind of invested in our characters. Behaviors mattered. And from them dealing with my behavior on a very personal way, my grades began to improve. And I went on later to, I think I ended up leaving V.Lindsay with like a 3.7.
I love seeing the transitions that happen during our time here. It's so easy to complain about little things that happen when you're just starting out at the institution, but I've seen amazing things happen at the school, and transitions are one of them. I remember starting out playing basketball with nails in the walls that they use for posters, but yes, it was safe here. They had a carpet gym floor. We had different things that I learned how to dribble on. I think that might have enhanced our basketball skills. We had red and blue benches. Those stick out in my mind like none other. I remember practicing for the Christmas plays. I think there's no place on earth that has Christmas plays like V.Lindsay.
What I remember most are our Christmas plays that we have at V.Lindsay and being in them.
My best memory was my very first Christmas program when I launched the baby Jesus across the audience.
Tell us more about that.
It was at the beginning of the play, and we were actually getting ready to close it out, and then I guess he just got tired and went on rampage, and you start poking at the angels, and he grabbed baby Jesus from the manger, and he threw it out into the crowd, and then it was a dramatic pause, and then after that, he just looked in awe, and then I think my mom came up to the stage and grabbed him off, and then that night was, it was pretty funny.
And so what happened is that the first class was taught by Pastor Webb over at Real Truth. And it was taught for about a week or so. Dr. Nathaniel Miller was over it, but we discovered we had to go back to the conference office and get everything lined up to make it a conference school. But the first class, the first teacher was Elder Gil Webb.
Who were some of the teachers that were at Cedarville that came over to V.Lindsay?
Well, let me not mess up. Let me just try to ramble. You take me back 25 years ago and better, but I can just name them. May not be the order, but it's Frida Wallace, Miss Rose Robinson. We had Sister Shirley Fordham. You had Pastor Willie Wilson. You had Amos and Fatoma. You had Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Conwell, Mr. Vanderpool. You had Dr. Nathaniel Miller, who was was the superintendent of education. I might have missed somebody along the way, but we had all excellent teachers.
We were the first teachers to teach at V.Lindsay along with Shirley Fordham.
What grades did you teach?
Kindergarten.
How long did you teach kindergarten at V.Lindsay?
Well, I taught kindergarten at V.Lindsay for about 12 years, 13 years at that time.
What grade did you teach?
I taught grades 4, 5, and 6 the first 3 years. And then I was at V.Lindsay when we moved the transition over to Kansas side. I taught 3rd and 4th.
I was inspired to come back to V.Lindsay because my former teacher, Miss Bryant, asked me to consider teaching here once I finished my degree at Oakwood, and I decided to do that. So when I came back, it inspired me to want to make a difference as much as I could here at the school. So V.Lindsay is it's like a family to me. So coming back just seemed like I was coming back to family. So that's why I decided to come back.
So if you're thinking about going to V.Lindsay, why would you tell someone to choose V.Lindsay?
Why would I tell someone about V.Lindsay? It's because it's one of the best schools you could go to, and that's pretty much it.
Why is it one of the best schools?
Because it has such a great Christian aspect of just about everything. God is incorporated in pretty much every subject, so that's a good thing to have.
What it did for me was truly give me that cultural identity. I was born in Liberia, West Africa, and I came here about when I was almost 6 years old. And so I didn't understand what it was to be an African American. And being here with African American students and an African American staff, it truly gave me that cultural identity that I needed to gain being here.
Honestly, I think V.Lindsay not only gives you a bright education, but it gives you a confidence in yourself and yourself as an African American. I definitely think that's huge because in the world, we're told that we don't have as much of a shot as everyone else. And here, you get a foundation that prepares you for a path that leads to wherever you choose to take it. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about this institution.
The benefit of having our own school, like I said, goes back to the teachers, the quality of the teachers. I've always felt that we could do a better job of teaching our own, and also to have it right here in the central located area that's accessible to everyone.
I love the idea of being a Christian teacher and teaching the children about God.
V.Lindsay is just, it's like a family to me. So coming back just seemed like I was coming back to family.
That's a hard question. It's because V.Lindsay was it's a huge family. It's like being in a household and saying, who do you really hang with? Kind of hung with everybody. You know, it was big enough to feel like you were at a family reunion every day, but small enough where you knew everybody.
What inspired me to send my children to V.Lindsay was, number one, I thought that no one could do a better job of teaching my children to be strong black men, but people that look like them. That was one of the reasons why. The second was the spiritual aspect. V.Lindsay may not have had all the, fine things that all the other schools, but to me that never mattered. The Christian aspect of it was very important to me. So that was why I sent my boys to V.Lindsay.
My favorite thing is the teachers. My favorite thing is the teachers.
I would tell every kid to come to V.Lindsay because it's fun. We have a lot of fun there when we learn. It's not boring like most schools. I love V.Lindsay. It's my favorite school.
The dream lives on. Van Lindsay started it, and I'm just a part of the fulfillment of the dream.